Hey, good morning, fuckers. It's another day at the Daily BM going on, Mikey.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's another day, Hey, man, I am literally just jumping in on every episode lately, going right to the freaking meat and potatoes.
Let's go.
I saw something on the news, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Wendy's. I'm not going to talk about fast food the whole time, but I figured it's a great subject. But Wendy's announced that by 2025, they're going to implement something that hotels do, and it's called surge pricing.
Okay.
So what they're going to implement, if people don't know what surge pricing is yet, if you don't like travel a lot of hotels during certain times of peak years, they raise prices on their rooms. And so in holidays, they double the prices, during holiday seasons because they know it's an uptick of demand. Well, Wendy's is going to try this model. The CEO of Wendy's basically told investors they're going to start this surge pricing for fast food. And a lot of the other fast food ones are putting their ear up like, hey, let's see how this works out for Wendy's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because somebody's got to try it, right? So they're going to implement by 2025 surge pricing. So for instance, if it's, peak, 11:45, 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock, they might raise that burger by $1 to $2.
Okay.
So my thought process is do you think a lot of people are going to get turned off by this, Mikey, or do you think it's going to be something that is going to be the new norm?
I think it's going to be okay. So McDonald's did something similar a long time ago, and I don't even know if people realized it. But if you remember when they used to have when they were open 24 hours, at like midnight, the prices on everything went up.
Okay.
Do you remember that or no?
Vaguely.
Okay. So they had to increase because, it was late night. If you wanted it, they were pretty much the only thing open. So, and they wanted to pay the people a little extra or make extra profits. And it didn't make a difference to people. Like if you wanted a burger at 2 in the morning, you still went and spent the extra money. And I feel like that people are they're going to bitch and they're going to moan, but they're still going to end up paying for it. And the ones that don't, the profit they're going to make on the surge will probably way compensate for those people that just decided not to go. Plus, it's going to make it during rush hour less busy, so less strain on the employees while maintaining profit margins. So I don't know, man. I think people are going to bitch, but I think in the end it's going to work.
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, the CEO of Wendy's, like I said, he when he was on a call with investors, he was talking about also beginning as early as 2025, they're going to use with the dynamic pricing, they're calling it. They're going to have different offerings in certain parts of the day, and they're going to use. Here we are, Mike. We've talked about this on previous episodes, and we're not getting rid of this. It's going to come on even harder and faster. AI-enabled menu changes and suggestive selling the AI is going to determine based on the factors such as weather. What is more common to be used if it's like 40 degrees out? It's not going to push ice cream. So the AI is going to be like, hey, I'm not going to push ice cream right now because it's below 40 degrees outside. It's cold. Why do you want to put something cold in your body? Might go to a hot coffee with, caramel or something like. The AI is going to know what to suggest to you and thinking in your mind, hey, you want to get warm? Get this. Faster than, saying, hey, guy, can you go out there and change the board? So they're going to switch to all digital boards. So it's almost going to be like a gas station. So
that's what McDonald's has already.
Yeah. So it's going to change based on that time of day and weather conditions. And like you said, time of night, it may go up because there's not enough people in there. They need to, you know what I mean? If they go to 24-hour day formats, who knows? But I just found that to be quite interesting that they're taking this approach. Again, I think they're rolling the ball in 2025, saying a year from now, because of the current inflation rate. So releasing it right now may have a negative impact. But like you said, it might be one of those things where you're still not going to stop and not get a Baconator if you like that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not that big hamburger like that kind of fan myself. But hey, the people that are, they may do it.
Wendy's is my favorite hamburger if I'm going to eat food. there's something about the Dave's double. Like that's the only one that I eat on the menu. That's the only one I like.
I get the single with
and
cheese.
I normally eat that every once in a blue moon.
Right.
Like I've really cut out fast food.
Yep.
A lot. I mean, if I do go get fast food, it's normally I try to pick the healthiest thing on the menu.
Right.
And at Wendy's it'd be the baked potato.
Right. With no sour cream.
No sour cream and stuff like that's fine because I can put that in calories in there.
Right.
I mean, just monitoring calories and stuff like that. I like their chili. It's not terrible. It's a little high in sodium, but I try to make healthier choices when I'm going out. But I've been avoiding like fast food joints as much as possible. Like if I go to Taco Bell, I'll get their steak bowl.
Yeah, you said something about that the other night. Go ahead and talk about that for a second. So what exactly the steak bowl? Like, why is it a healthier choice if you're going to Taco Bell? Because you were talking about like, it's got really high protein count and things of that nature. So I can understand that. Yeah,
so it's the Power Bowl menu option basically. And it's so for the chicken Power Bowl, it's 460 calories. It's got 21 grams of fat, 0 grams of saturated fat or trans fat, 6 grams of saturated fat. The sodium's a little high at 1250 milligrams.
Yeah.
So it's about 50% of your daily intake. But if you're not eating a bunch of salt in the rest of the day or processed foods, it's not terrible. The carbs is 41 grams with 8 grams of fiber. And then it's got 26 grams of protein. So as far as, compared to other things on the menu,
right?
If you eat that in and of itself, it's not that terrible. Now, it's not the best. But in a pinch, it's an under 500 calorie meal that has a good amount of protein, good amount of fat, and a good amount of carbohydrates. It's pretty well balanced, in my opinion. And if you have to eat something from there, then I think that's one of the better choices on the menu, as opposed to like, the deluxe craving box, which comes in at like 1,600 calories, plus adding a soda, you're another 300 calories on top of that. So you're sitting almost at your daily, calorie limit of 2,000 calories a day if you're doing the standard, pyramid diet. So, that's a bad choice, and then eating like the tacos aren't bad. Like they used to do the Fiesta tacos. Those aren't a bad choice either. I just like the steak protein bowl because it's easy and it's contained and it gives me good fuel if I'm going out. Like I like it. So
I'll tell you
this:
to
get Taco Bell, that's what I get.
At Taco Bell, it's funny because like you and Aiden talked about the $5 shit box. That's what Aiden calls it. But they got rid of that. So you want to talk about somebody that did something different? Now you can only get the $10 one. You have to pay $10, right, if you want to get any type of combo thing at like 2,000 calories. But I thought that to be quite interesting. Hey, let's get rid of the 5. We'll sneak in the 10 and people will still get it. And it's true because a couple months ago when I got it, that's exactly what I bought. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I had to split it in half because there's just so much food for $10.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like you said, it's a 2,000 calorie sitting. And half that box, you're looking at 1,000 calories just right there, even at half a box that you don't eat the whole thing.
And there's a lot of garbage in there too. I think that's not as healthy. Like there's deep fried products and stuff like that. So you're adding extra oils and extra fats. And I don't know. I just try to avoid that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, with the surge pricing,
let's get back on topic.
I feel that that's going to be just the way that business is going to be run. Like if you want something during peak times, it's going to cost you a little bit more.
Right.
So it's going to cause people to shift. Maybe you go to lunch at 10:30 instead of 12. Everybody going to lunch right at 12. I don't know, man. I don't.
Or you go to lunch at like 1:30, 2 o'clock when that surge is over from that initial rush, like you said. And
I mean, my big thing is I'm trying to cook fresh my lunch every day, and just eat cleaner and healthier. So I'm really trying to avoid fast food. So all this kind of stuff is just motivating me more to move in that direction.
Right.
As opposed to, living inside the hamster wheel.
Well, you would think that like people might take notice of that too and be like, I need to start eating at home and eating better and doing things. I'm hoping it has that effect. Sorry, Wendy's. I mean, I'm not like in your corner on that one, but hey, more power to you, whatever you got to do. But I think most I would hope that most people would take that same avenue, like your approach to it. Like, hey, I really don't want to eat this anyway, so let me just start making stuff at home. I know for me, what's tough, I know we're still talking about surge pricing, but I'm gonna sidebar it again. The hardest part is trying to, like, people say, oh, meal prep, do this, that, and the other. It's hard for me to meal prep because by the time my day is over and I get my workout in, I do all, my stuff around the house I'm supposed to get done. You know what I mean? I'm looking at 8:30, 9 o'clock before I can even hit the stove, to start doing any meal preps. So, I understand the struggle of trying to cook at home and trying to prep because it takes time.
Right.
But like anything else you do in life, you have to structure something around it, whether you do it on a Sunday or whatever. Now, you're not a meal prep guy, right? You don't really care for it.
No, because my problem is like after that first 24-hour window, I feel like the food starts to lose flavor and it starts to like congeal. It just loses its freshness.
Right.
Compared to like that first day when you cook it fresh. And I haven't found a good way to meal prep to where on day 5 I'm still happy with the meal. And I've done those meal like factor meals, which they were good like the first month it's good, but then after the first month you start getting in like repetition.
Mm-hmm.
And for me that's a problem because food, I like cooking, I like experimenting with foods, I like different flavor profiles, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So when I feel like I take that out, I feel less happy. So I don't like to meal prep. I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a valuable tool for weight loss. I'm not saying it's not great, because it is. It's just if people can do it. For me, in my lifestyle, it's not exactly what I want to do. So I'm kind of experimenting and going my own way,
Mm-hmm. No, I understand. It's crazy because, I always find it funny. Like, and I'm going to get back on the surge pricing thing. I find it funny. So like an hour ago from themirror.com, they're saying Wendy's surge pricing plan sparks backlash as customers vow to boycott. But, you made a good point. You know what I mean? That they're probably still going to make more money even for the drop off of people that want to boycott. Because let's face it. Do you remember back a few years ago when Chick-fil-A, when the owner took a stance on some things and then they had a lot of backlash?
Yeah.
But it hasn't hurt them at all. They are still booming. And I can tell you, I passed this Chick-fil-A by my house.
Yeah.
And it is crazy busy there.
Here's the thing. Okay. So the problem is that a lot of businesses are trying to cater to everyone and they're offending everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As opposed to, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're about. If you're our customer, that's great. We're going to take good care of you.
Right.
If you don't believe in our values and you don't believe in our product, then don't shop here.
Right.
Go shop somewhere else. And that's kind of the stance Chick-fil-A took. Like,
yeah.
This is who we are. This is what we're about. And this is what we do. If you are down with that, we're more than happy to serve you. We're not going to make you feel bad if you don't believe in our values, but you still love our food, but we're not going to change our core values to accommodate you wanting us to be open on Sundays. Bottom line, that's where they were at. And some people respect it. Other people just want to bitch and moan about it. But at the end of the day, it's fine. I watched this guy. He's a gay man and he's leans more conservative than he does liberal.
Correct.
And he made some really points that I completely agree with. Like the other day, he said, hey, I believe that it's my right to have marriage and to get married. But if you're a baker and you don't want to sell me a wedding cake because you don't believe in gay marriage, that's fine. There's hundreds of other bakers I can buy my cake from. You should be able to not say you don't want to sell it to me, and I should be able to go buy it from somebody else. Everybody has the
point. I agree,
free will.
Yeah.
Everybody has got free will. And I was like, damn, that's, very poignant statement, you know. And he's like, his other topic was, you know, one of the things he's like, we can't keep talking about race and division and expect us to become united. Like, it's not, that doesn't mean wipe out what happened in the past and the history, but don't keep making it a dividing point and creating future problems with future kids because we're so harped on the division of race. And I was like, okay, damn, that makes sense to me too. Like, I'm right there with you, buddy. So I think it's like that with you know, what we're talking about with corporations and their philosophies and their views. And I think the problem is you've got like Budweiser, you know, they got their core audience who was their, you know, biggest customers, and they were aligned with those values. And then they try to create, you know, this entire inclusion part, which I get it. It is what it is. But it pissed off their core base because it wasn't true to the values that they had originally established, you know, like the all-American beer, like the all-American value beer, you know, not this new, you know, new age liberal beer.
Right.
So, you know, it's it makes it, I think that the best policy for businesses is to stay out of politics and stay out of the trends and just sell your product and make your product available for everyone.
Right.
You know, like it becomes such a thing where it's like you have to take the red pill or the blue pill. Well, I don't want to take either pill. You know, I don't want to be on either side. I want to make my own decisions based on the man and based on the policies, not, and, you know, and buy my products based on the values of the company as far as how they produce their product and the quality of their product. Not necessarily like that, you know, if they're religious, they want to close on Sundays, great, you know. I don't get to eat Chick-fil-A on Sunday, no problem. They have a great product. They have a great experience. So because they're Christian doesn't bother me.
Care. I like their I like their
know,
chicken
like,
sandwich from time to time, so I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know, it kind of goes back. I'm going to go back to the Bud Light thing real quick and touch on that real fast. But, you know, Kid Rock, you know, threw, you know, a temper tantrum pretty much. You know what I mean? But, you know, he was just on Joe Rogan's show, podcast, you know, and he was talking about, you know, and Joe Rogan made a statement of, you know, so, you know, what's it like being the dude who took out Bud Light? You know what I mean? And you know, I liked Kid Rock's response because I thought it was pretty freaking cool of him. He was like, man, I was just having fun, you know, to be honest. And I'm quoting him here. He says, I was pissed, but I wasn't, he goes, but I wasn't like I was going to try to wreck my day, let alone my life, because I was just kind of like, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? But then he's, you know, at the end of the day, he just said, you know, fuck it. He goes, I threw a tantrum with a machine gun. He goes, wah, wah. You know, they want to let guys play and girls, sports, whatever. Yes, you know, but he said, I threw a temper tantrum. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, he goes, it's over. You know, and then I think he continued to open up a beer, a Bud Light, and drink it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's fucking beer. You know what I mean? Did they make a marketing decision? Yeah. Did they pay a little bit of price for it? Yeah. You know, companies make decisions all the times that might not be the best thing for them, you know? But at the end of the day, he owned it, and he's like, hey, I just threw a fucking temper tantrum. You know, nothing against Bud Light, because they do a lot of great things. I mean, a lot of great things for like veterans and people in the military. They donate a lot of money to help out military and things of that nature. So, you know, it's so easy to tack on to, like you said, you know, one thing and throw a temper tantrum and go to social media and start posting about it and all this shit. But at the end of the day, you also got to look at some of the good things those companies do, you know, and a lot of the monies they donate and the charities they do. That's my 2 cents on it right there. I just thought when you said Bud Light, I had to make sure I cleared the air on that one.
I mean, my opinion on the whole thing, it was really stupid. I mean, do I value Dylan McCahey? No, I don't, because I don't really think that they're genuine. Just from the things that I've seen and the things that I've, you know, watched, I don't feel like they're a real genuine person. And the things like that they say and do, to me, belittles women. And I'm not okay with that, because, you know, it's like almost like when people dress up with
Right.
blackface. Back from the 1930s and 1950s in the cinemas, they would a white person would put black makeup all over themselves, and then they would act like really inappropriately and almost
Right.
subhuman as comedic relief, and that's
No.
not okay.
Agree.
It's not, I mean, it's humor, yeah, but it's also super derogatory. So that's
I don't
not
think it's
okay.
funny. That's just
And that's
me.
what I feel. Yeah. And I mean, like when Robert Downey Jr. did it in Tropic Thunder, it was good because he was playing a guy that played a guy, and he really pulled it off. Like, he never got any grief about blackface in Tropic Thunder because he did a genuine job, and he did just an outstanding performance on that. But Dylan McCahey, like, she makes fun of women, like she's gonna go run. She's like, I'm gonna run in my new Nike gear and my pumps. Like, women don't
Yeah,
run
they
in
run in
pumps.
fitness
Like,
shoes,
they're not
man.
like that. Like, and I just, and I feel like it just puts him down. Like, it's just like, he's like, I've only been a woman for like 1 day now, and I've already cried like 9 times, and I'm PMSing so bad. It's like, come on, dude, seriously. Like,
If I'm
no,
a
that's
woman,
not
I'd get
okay.
pissed
It's not
off.
okay to
I'd be
treat women
pissed
like
off if I
that.
was a lady. I mean, I would. It would
I don't.
irritate me. Maybe
Yeah,
not pissed
I don't
off, but
think
I'd be
it's.
irritated. I'm like, man, what the fuck?
I honestly think they should have a separate category, and I saw an article on this, and I think it is a really good idea. They should have like a performance enhanced category for athletes. So anybody that's transgender, anybody that's taking steroids, anybody that's taking any type of enhancement product would be in that type of event. Just make a whole separate category, and then let natural women be in natural events and natural men be in natural events, and try to cut down on the, juicing and the steroids as much as possible, because I feel like it's run rampant, especially in the sports arena, that everyone's on performance enhancers and they're just hiding it very well.
Yes, and everybody needs.
Because a lot of those people can't get to that size without taking some type of supplement, some type of
Listen,
enhancement.
everything I can tell you,
It's just
and when
hard.
in sports, because even
Yeah.
back in my day, okay, you were always trying to take it where you could get above the next level. So I agree with you there. There needs to be something done about it.
Yeah.
Do I have the answer?
Mhm.
No, I really don't.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, but I can tell you, everybody, whether it's a natural woman, natural man, or transgender, whatever, everybody's trying to get an advantage. And I don't think you're ever going to really stop that, because there's going to be ways to not detect it. Then they're going to find the next best thing that's not detected until it's detected. And then it just keeps going until you start initializing bans and things like that to get it under control. Like, if you get caught with this, you're done. Your career's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're an athlete. I mean, you're signing contracts.
They'll just find ways around
that's what
it.
I'm
They'll just
getting
find
at.
ways
And
around
so
it.
I don't think you can ever truly control it. You can do your best, but I don't think you're ever going to get anywhere with it in the long game. So that's just my thought. But
yeah, 100%.
Before we get out of here, man, do you have any closing statement you want to say about what we talked about today, or you good?
I mean, we went over a bunch of different topics. I mean, basically, just, it all comes down to just take care of yourself. If you want to avoid paying surge pricing, don't go during the surges. If you want it, if you want to drink the beer that you want to drink the beer you want to drink. Who cares? It's not a political statement. I mean, you put a beer in a glass, nobody knows what kind of beer it is anyways. So who
Right
gives
on,
a
man.
shit?
And I'll be honest with you. I was one of those ones like Kid Rock. I threw a tantrum about Bud Light. I did. I threw a tantrum and I boycotted Bud Light myself. And then I went like this. You know what, man? I'm being really stupid about this shit. And I had a Bud Light not too long ago. I was like, the hell with it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
See, I don't like Bud Light, so it's not my beer of choice anyways. But I don't drink really. Like, I have a drink every once in a while, but to me, Bud Light and all those lights are like prohibition beers. Like, they were made because they were watering shit down, and that's what we just became used to. So it's not even like a good beer to me. Like, so it's not something I reach for.
The only time I like a Bud Light or a Miller Light or anything like that, the only time I like it is when I'm out on the boat. That's it. You put it in if you take me to like a place like Brass Tap or anything like that, I normally go with, a Pilsner or something like that. It has a little bit of substance and flavor. I just something about being out in the sun, because maybe it's because it's light. It's a very light beer. So I enjoy it more when I'm out in the sunshine. And in Florida, hey, that's like 80% of the year. But anyway, guys, don't forget, head over to thedailybm.com. I'll let you off the hook. Head over there and follow us on our socials. You can find them there. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before you sign off today. Mike, you got anything else, or are you ready to go?
Oh, no. Everybody have a great day.
We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Deuces.